1. We're live.
Ooh. Do I need to start talking? Is that how streams work? Hello, everyone, and welcome here to the wonderful Roll20 Twitch streaming. I am going to be your host for a little bit of a special event that we're doing here today. My name is Jim McClure, and we're going to be running the playtest of Reach of Titan, which is my new game that's on Kickstarter, as well as it's on Roll20, and we're going to talk about all of that fun. So hopefully if you've joined us here right now, that's kind of what you're in for. Just interacting with our group. We're going to be a rowdy, punchy bunch, I believe, today, but it should be a good, wonderful time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sort of take this time to introduce you to just a little bit about what Reach of Titan is, and then I'll introduce myself, and I'll let all of our wonderful panelists here, players. We're playing a We're not just talking about stuff today. Our wonderful players introduce themselves and all of the wonderful things that they are doing. So as I said, essentially what we're here to do today is we are playing the playtest version of Reach of Titan. Reach of Titan is an RPG that I have designed that is on Kickstarter right now. We are fully funded. We're like 450% funded. Going really good, and I'm very, very thankful for the community that has supported and sprouted up around this game. And we've got about a week left on the Kickstarter as of this, so this game is going to happen. And one of the things that we're doing with this game is we're doing it in conjunction with Roll20, and what we're doing today is actually playing the playtest version that is on Roll20 right now. The game itself, again, is called Reach of Titan, and it's all about fighting giant, huge, larger-than-life creatures. Our wonderful group of players here will be playing little tiny humans that are going to have to climb up and try and stab and figure out how to kill these giant, big, huge creatures. It's very much inspired by properties like Shadow of Colossus, with a good dash of Monster Hunter and a sprinkle of Attack on Titan on top. So that's kind of what we're going to be in for. The game itself goes around kind of 3 phases of play, which is your settlement building phase, where essentially you take the resources you gather from Titans and you make your town bigger and better, and you develop not only the physical aspects of the settlement, but you also develop the cultural aspects of your settlement and who they are. From there, then you have to go out and do what we call Titan hunts, where you hunt down and find one of these giant beasts to kill it, because you need to feed everyone and you want to continue to build your settlement, and some of them are just going to directly threaten your livelihood. So you have to go on what's called Titan hunts. And then once you have found a Titan, you actually have Titan encounters, where you go and fight these things. The playtest document specifically is around the Titan encounter. So what you're going to kind of see today is us running through several of the different Titan combats that you'll find in the playtest document. So it's going to be a little bit combat focused, but I think it'll be a pretty darn engaging experience if everything goes well. So that's kind of the overview of Reach of Titan, and we'll get into the more specifics as we go. But let's do a couple introductions. Again, as I said, my name is Jim McClure. I am the designer of this game. I'm the owner of Third Act Publishing. We design and make several small press indie RPGs. Notable titles from the past, we've done Reflections, Domina Magica, and Satanic Panic, as well as this is our new one, of course, Reach of Titan. On top of all of that, I'm also one of the lead designers for Roll20, this place that we're in here right now. For those of you who know, Roll20 is making its first ever RPG called Burn Bright, which is supposed to be out. I can't secretly announce it or Nolan will yell at me. But sooner than we expected, I'll put it that way. Will be out shortly. So with all of that said, I'm going to go around the table. Let's start with Pro. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little about what you do?
Super happy to be here. I am Pro Restarter. I do a slew of stuff on the internet, streaming, YouTube, all that good stuff, and I'm more than overjoyed to be playing this game with these great people here. So I'm super happy to be playing this and attack some Titans, maybe.
We will attack some Titans, yes. Marsie.
Unmute myself here. Hi, everybody. My name is Marsie Vellan. I am one half of the Phantom Roll booth. Our thing is trying to play as many games as we can with as many new people as possible. And I'm also the GM for the Owl of Lycia, which is a Cypher System live play that's recently been on Monty Cook Games Twitch channel. I think we're moving a venue, but keeping on going strong.
Cypher System is so good, so brilliant. I'm so mad at Monty for making such a good game. I shouldn't be, because it's great. Yes, darn Monty, how dare he continue to be awesome. Connie, we are joined by the wonderful Connie O.
Hey there, I'm Connie O. I'm new to streaming. I've done one or two, but I'm super excited to be here. Super great to be playing with new people in a new system. It sounds really fun. I'm on Twitter and Twitch as Connie. Oh, yeah. That's OHYEAH, just in case you didn't know. And whatevs. This is going to be great. Let's all have fun. Oh, and Jim mentioned the Bright system. If you're not listening to Autonomic Pod with Cat Cool, check it out.
You should definitely do that. They're using essentially a version of it, because Cat Cool was also one of the lead designers on that game, who is again all sorts of wonderful people. Last but certainly not least, we have Grant Ellis. I believe the only person in the world who was a member of the NWO, Degeneration X, the Bullet Club, the Authority, and League of Nations. If anyone remembers that one,
I happen to be the face that runs the place, and I'm going to be the showstopper. We're going to be taking those Titans down. We're going to be pinning them to the mat, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3. And at the end of this game, 10 pounds of solid gold is going to be put around my waist, Jim McClure. Woo! I had to improvise that.
There was a little bit of Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair in that, and I'm completely fine with this. And all I want to see you is super kick a Titan now. But despite me and Grant's wrestling references aside, Grant, how are you doing? Let's tell us about yourself.
I'm moving and grooving, Jim. I'm breaking necks and cashing checks. My name is Grant Ellison. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games. I'm a producer on WebDM's Twitch channel, and I was actually stretch goal for this game, and if you believe it or not, I've had a look under the hood at some of these Titans, and they're scary.
Yes. What's the Titan that you're going to be making for the game? Because you were a stretch goal writer, and we did hit you.
We're thinking cloud kraken, a sky squid. You walk into the mist, something grabs you around the waist, next thing you know, you're airborne.
Horrifying. Absolutely
Yes.
Horrifying. Yes. Cloud kraken is my number one phobia. I don't know how you guessed it. But yeah, so this is our wonderful group. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of dive right into the game. Again, other than Grant, I think most people have not seen any of the information, which is perfectly fine, because for those watching us, this should serve also as a way that you can kind of see how to get into this game. Again, I'm going to be your wonderful GM. The game sort of has a traditional GM player structure where you have one GM who's going to control the Titans and NPCs and everything like that. And then we go to our individual players who will all have classes and abilities, and we'll be able to fight these creatures. So getting into it, the first thing that we need to do is, in the playtest, there are 4 classes that are available to our players, and we're going to talk about what these are, and we're going to have each of you all pick a class that you want to play. But I do want to go ahead and give you all the breakdown on what these things are and what they do. So our first class is the Climber. The Climber is pretty self-explanatory. They are the brave soul that's going to climb up the body of these giant beasts and try and stab them until they stop moving. All of their skills and abilities are based on climbing up the giant beasts and stabbing them until they stop moving. They're a pretty straightforward class. They're your DPS. They definitely have to be a brave soul to take on the Climber, as you will regularly be climbing up these beasts, being thrown off of them, and continuing the fight in that wonderful fashion. Then from there, we have the Scout. The Scout is sort of like the team leader, and the reason being is they're the ones that kind of hold back a little bit, observe everything that is happening, and help direct the team. The Scout has some abilities, as well as being able to do ranged attacks on the Titan. Scout has the ability to give some of their dice to other players to sort of help them out, as well as identify Titan attacks and kind of see what's happening. So they're kind of your eyes and ears, and your I don't want to say straight up team leader, but they help keep everyone organized and going. Then you have the Anchor. The Anchor is a unique class in that they walk into combat with Titans with a giant black powder metal ballista, and they shoot a giant hook into various parts of the Titans and use that to actively get into essentially a tug of war with these giant beasts, trying to disrupt their attacks, influence their movements, and otherwise fight with the Titan in this sort of cable life and death strug of war situation. And that's what the Anchor does. And then we have the Trapper, which is sort of a little bit of a jack of all trades, in that they can climb, they can range shoot, as well as they can help identify certain aspects of the Titans, weak points, and things of that nature. They're sort of the most well-versed in the hunting aspect of the Titans. So those are the 4 classes we have available. I'm going to open it up now to the players. Which ones of these kind of spoke to some of you all?
I feel like I'm the worst leader possible, so I shouldn't be the scout.
That sounds like a perfect person to be the scout. Why not?
No, I don't want to.
I was thinking
That's a fair reason.
my character Liam Lionel will be the scout, unless anyone else would like it.
Lionel. Oh my god, this is what we're in for.
I want to climb, y'all.
You and me both. I'll fight you for it. No, take it.
You said that the same way I sound if I'm going for a Hostess cupcake. I want one of these, y'all.
It is the Hostess cupcake. This is a whole lot of what I do for a Klondike bar, and the Klondike bar is climbing.
Man.
I was thinking Anchor.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking Anchor. Unless you might want that, Connie.
I mean, it sounds like a great job, but somebody's got to be the trapper, so I guess it'll be me.
Connie's trapper. And that only leaves one. Grant, I believe you have been elected scout.
Well, I'm glad, and I prepared a speech, but we'll save that for the after game.
Okay, wonderful. So we have our assigned classes. Of course, again, we are doing this in Roll20, and Grant is being wonderful to run the stream from us. I don't know, is it possible? Are you being able to share?
I'm going to switch over in just a second. I need to make sure that I add your camera.
All right, good. So that way everyone can kind of see.
Yeah,
because we have all of our character sheets are here in the wonderful Roll20. It's where we're going to be playing. It's where we're going to see all of our little stuff. For those that are also, for my players, you also should find a token within the token cert, something that will represent your player, because we will need it on the battle map. For all that wonderful fun. Okay, so we should be switched over. So what we're going to do now, we need to go around and do some of our character introductions now that you as the players know what you're going to kind of be playing and have an idea. Players, you should be thinking of, we will need a character name for you, as well as to give us a kind of a description, a little bit about your character, tell us a little bit about who you're playing, as well as thinking up the first time that they encountered a Titan. I think will be fun. And because we did Grant last, we're going to do Grant first this time. So Grant, tell us a little bit about your character, who they are, and the first time they encountered a Titan.
Liam Lionel is a plucky individual, small in stature, lean in thigh, and the first time, but his most notable quality is his relentless optimism, even in the most dire of situations. And the first time he encountered a Titan, he was on a fishing trip with his great-grandfather. That was the last day he saw him.
Goodness gracious. Okay. We have a lost father out at sea. Hopefully that won't come back up again in the story. With that, let's go to Pro. Pro, tell us about your character.
Drake is about 6 foot, long dreadlocked hair, kind of bits with golden beads, green eyes, and they first encountered a Titan out in the plains. They were doing some hunting, and a large earthbound creature erupted, and it was him or his brother, and his brother chose to save him and pushed him before the Titan could move, and we'll fade to black on that scene.
Wow, everyone's family has died. Now I'm feeling sad for making this game. It's like starting a new JRPG. I always feel bad because it's like there's an innocent farm town that's going to burn to the ground to start my hero's journey, and I always feel a little bit bad. Those were hypothetical people. So let's go to Marsie. Marsie, tell us a little bit about your character.
Sure. Reva Red is a very tall lady with lanky limbs. She's built to climb and always has been. And the first time that she met a Titan was actually, it was a very long time. Her settlement was built on a Titan that traveled across the water.
Ooh.
So there wasn't any destruction associated with it. They were more or less forcibly nomads, and climbing was essential there. And eventually, it banked. And every time it banks, their village has the option, like, you can leave at this point, but you more or less can't come back after that. So she left and eventually found these people.
That is outstanding, and I actually already have a vision of your hometown as well, because actually the next stretch goal in the Kickstarter campaign is Rich Howard, who's sort of known for his aqua stuff, and he is building a turtle with a city on its back. So that's exactly what I'm picturing now.
That's where she came from. That's where she came from.
That's fantastic. And finally, we have Connie. Connie, tell us a little about your character.
Cool. My character is named Biddy Bodie. They are 5'2". They're a cute little cuddly chunker with eyes like black holes. They have a handshake like a boa constrictor and a very nice hat. Their first encounter was with a mammoth made of flame that tried to burn down their town, but thanks to Biddy Body and some hunters nearby, it never happened, and all of my family is alive, and that's awesome.
I just wrote down in the notes Flame Mammoth, so that way I can put that in the book and then immediately recognize that that's one of the bosses from Mega Man X, like my favorite game ever. So now I'm all excited for that even more. Okay, that's nice. Probably going to show up in the book. Yay.
Nice.
Learning opportunities. Okay, so we have Leon, Reaver, Drake, and Biddy.
Biddy.
I wrote my B's instead of D's because that little bit of dyslexia pops up every now and then. Biddy have essentially been taken from the village, you all's little settlement. Actually, someone give me a description. What's the settlement that the four of you all reside in now? And I'll say most settlements are designed to be in somewhat of a secluded or protected areas, because a lot of Titans, when they see a human settlement, will just attack and try and destroy it. So a big part of survival is to try and avoid that. So who's got a good idea of what they think the settlement where the four of you all located looks like?
I think it's built into the eaves of a very, very large tree.
Okay. I love it. Yes, because all of the geography and the plant life and everything is pretty much Titan-sized in this. Humans suspect this is not a world that was made for them. There's no other animals that are human-sized. Pretty much it's us and Titans, which is part of the mystery of the world to be figured out. No, okay, so that's wonderful. So you'll have your tree people in the weirdest sense, in that you have carved out throughout the wood and live inside. The four of you have been taken because this is the day that you all are going to become Titan hunters. Titan hunters are some of the most prized people within the village because they can actually protect you, protect the settlement, as well as go out and hunt for resources. So in order to become Titan hunters, what we need to do is you need to pass your wonderful little Titan hunting exam, so that way they don't just send you out in the world for you all to get clobbered and killed. So they have captured, and I'm going to bring our players on Roll20 here over to our first Titan here. There's a gruff gentleman goes by the name of Sam Marshall. Marshall's been kind of the quasi village leader for a long period of time. The actual village leader has become elderly, which is not common in this world, but and he's no longer capable of that much direct action. So Marshall's kind of taken over the duties, and he's looking at the four of you like, all right, here's what we got. So your first mission, not a mission. It's kind of a mission, not really a mission. Should be easy. If any of you all die, you deserve to die anyway. So this is about as safe as it gets. We corralled a horn hog. Good eating. Feed the village for a good 3 weeks on one of these things. And all we need to do is bring it down. Now, here's the thing. Our other anchors who had this thing trapped and fully pinned, well, their anchors broke. Pretty strong beast. So what we need you all to do is, where it's trapped down in this little cove, is go down there, finish it off, bring it back to camp, and that way we can eat up. And I'll be there just to make sure that that everything runs good for you. And if you got any questions, of course, you can always ask me. That makes sense, everyone? Kind of looks around at the four of you who are expecting perhaps more pomp and circumstance on your first day as some of the most important people to the village. And he's like, all right, fresh meat. And he opens up the gate to push the four of you in. And what you see is the image on Roll20 before you that all the players should be moved to, the horn hog. It stands about 50 feet tall. It's about 120 or so feet in length. It's a giant boar-looking thing that is snorting and stomping its hooves as the four of you enter. And with that, we're going to kind of get into combat. So this is going to be our first Titan encounter. Again, for those of you on Roll20 here, what we will need some sort of character token for you. I don't know if all you players have used Roll20 much before, but there's an art library. And if you select the art library tab up in your top right-hand corner, this is where it'll allow you to easily pull images onto the screen itself. And someone has made a gigantic token that needs to get scaled.
That's the natural side. Yeah, just scale it.
That's fine. There we go. That is more like what we should look like. So if you do a search, just to make sure that on that search bar it's selected for tokens, and you can just grab any of those images and literally drag it onto the screen, and it will give yourself a token. So we'll get all of our players here set up, because you all will need one. Please name your token, your character name. You should be able to go in and do that, or I can do it for you.
I am feeling silly because I'm not seeing a art link at the top on the right.
Bring something, whatever you got.
Okay.
I am fine with whatever.
Let's see here.
Silly is great.
Dash this down. There you go.
Fantastic. And again, like I said, if y'all could name your tokens so that way we can see your little character names underneath. Grant, did you have this token of you made? Because I realize it has the exact same outfit you're currently wearing.
You know what? It was like looking in a mirror. In fact, I commissioned it while we were doing our intros. I was like, "Dear artist."
Well, you need to tell me who that artist is, because that's a fantastic turnaround time.
See here.
So two of our tokens.
Show. You may need to click on it and choose to show names. You might be able to see it, but I've added the name.
Okay, maybe that is our issue then. Can I, as the GM, not edit these things? I should be able to edit them, right? Let's see. I can make my notes. Show nameplate. There we go.
Marsie just grabs the brush tool and draws Mr. Yuck's face.
I mean, I'm about to. I'm actually also having trouble figuring out how to find the art. Usually I can find it in a game that I'm GMing, but I can't find it here.
It should be, if you're looking for where to get it, if you're on the Roll20 screen, sort of in the top right-hand corner, that is fantastic and silly. I'm going to keep it that size, too. That would be great. So what you can do is, again, if you want to search the wonderful little website, but yeah, up in the top right hand corner is there's like 6 icons up at the top. The first one's like a cat, or maybe 5. One of them should be art library. If you click
I also only have 5. Yeah,
it's not.
You'll just have you'll have to just edit the character sheet and then choose something for your avatar.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Me like 2 minutes.
Okay. While you are doing that, then we will go ahead and let's show nameplate on that. Perfect. So that way I can tell everyone. I'm going to go explain the basics, and then I find it very boring to kind of sit here and go like, here's all the things that you can do. So instead of that, I'm explaining sort of the basic concept of how the core mechanic works, and then as you all do stuff, we'll kind of learn as we go, which is the fun way. The basic concept is if you look at your character sheets here in Roll20, you will see sort of what's dominating the top portion of them is this pool of 6d6 dice that you have. Essentially, every action that you're going to want to do is revolved around those dice. So if you want to take an action, what you do is you choose to roll any number of the dice you have available. So from 1 to 6 dice. Your choice as the player, roll as many as you want. Once they're rolled, they're moved up into the exhausted category. We add everything up that's compared to a target number against whatever it is that you're trying to fight. And if you succeed based on whatever your action is, then you do whatever the action is. If you fail, then you fail. You get a number of actions in your turn based on the number of dice you have available. So if you could choose to do 1 action in your turn and spend all 6 dice. You could choose to do 6 actions and spend 1 dice each. You could choose to do any combination in between. All the agency is at the moment of the dice roll for you, the players. And that's sort of how the core mechanic works. We'll kind of learn a bunch of stuff as we go a little bit. And sort of as you all ask to do actions, we'll kind of explain how it works. The other thing that you need to know is each Titan is broken up into different sections. So this Titan has its hind legs, the body, and the head. Your goal is obviously to find a way to kill this Titan. Each section of the Titan has its own stats, its own abilities, and part of the game of Reach of Titan is figuring out not only the puzzle side of it, which is how do we beat this thing, but then actually sort of performing it in a traditional resource style combat encounter. So that's kind of what we're doing. As you can tell, I do a lot of design podcasts, so that was more dry than I expected and could have flavored that up, but that's okay. Do we have your token?
Yep. As soon as it uploads, there we go.
Perfect. And as soon as I see it, we'll get it sized. Once it's uploaded, and then we will jump into what's happening. One of the other things that you should note is that initiative in this game, essentially, I'm going to say doesn't have it. How it works is all of the players get to do their actions first, and then the Titan will take its actions and back and forth until one side no longer exists. The players, you're allowed to and highly encouraged to openly communicate what your strategies are to your other teammates and sort of work together to formulate a strategy. Likewise, as I said, you can get a number of actions as you want per turn. You can also break up those actions however you want. So Drake could take an action, and then Liam could take another action, then Drake could continue taking actions. However you all want to break it up. Once the 4 of you as a group have decided, okay, we're done, either because you have no dice or because you choose to end your actions early, then the Titan will begin. All makes sense so far?
Yeah.
Yay, we love it. Okay. I haven't seen that token pop up on my screen yet. I
saw it on mine.
I uploaded it to my bio and info.
You might need to drag and drop it.
Oh, okay. Let me just do that. Boop. Boop.
I had to save mine twice.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Perfect.
Hey, there she is.
Did you literally just draw that?
I drew it a couple days ago, and then I just edited it so that it had red hair.
Nice.
Because if you drawn it that going, I was going to be stupid.
I could have lied. Why didn't I?
You should have lied, yes.
Marcie's rates are as follows. No.
Okay, and Reaver. All right. Characters in place. We have everything to go. There is a vicious stomping horn hog in front of you. How does the team want to engage, and what do we want to do? All eyes look at Liam, their theoretical leader.
Oh yeah, and then I go right into that famous monologue from the first season of Lost, where I'm like, we know there's wild boars in front of us, razorbacks by the look of it. The ones that came to our camp last night were piglets, 150 pounds each. Which means there's a mother nearby, a 250-pound rat with scimitars-like tusks, a surly disposition, who'd love nothing more than to eviscerate anything that comes near it. Boar's usual mode of attack is to circle around and charge from behind, so I figure it'll take at least 3 of us to distract her long enough for me to flank one of the piglets, pin it, and slit its throat. And then I start, moving to the side motionally. So I'm thinking that's what we do. We're going to have to try to distract it in the front, and one of us is going to have to climb up that weaselly, ratty tail of it and slit its throat. Now, granted, this is a giant thing. I'm thinking we need to break its knees. We need to bring it down, make it humble.
That does seem like a very good idea. I think that we should take out its legs. I've never liked legs on boars. They're too gamey for me.
Agreed. We should definitely do that. I'm all loaded up and ready to go.
So I think we need to lock down them thighs. Sorry.
Okay, so legs seem to be the target. Who wants to do something to the legs first?
Actually, I'm reading my character sheet, and I'm going to use this ability, Go for the Throat, which at the start of combat, I am declaring that the legs are a part of the Titan, that all damage rolls made against that part of the Titan gets a +2 bonus to the roll.
Yes, so our trapper is identifying the legs as a weak spot, so all damage will be increased. That is done to the legs.
Nice.
Okay, wonderful.
I look at Drake, and I'm just going to be like, "You're the best, Drake! You can hold it! I know you can!" I'm going to use my encouragement ability and spend 2 dice, so that when Drake takes an action, he gets bonus dice.
Okay, so the scout is using its encouragement ability. So what will happen is the scout, you will exhaust 2 of your dice. So essentially your pool of 6 gets exhausted. And now our wonderful anchor, Drake, has 2 extra dice. You'll actually have 8 total dice that you can use this turn.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think what Drake is doing, Drake is going to get his like huge ballista, like just run forward, like through this like flanking scene, kind of like go up a ridge, and I think as they go up a ridge, they're going to aim for the back legs, and they're going to attempt to hold the beast by shooting through the leg into the dirt and kind of fixing it to the wall.
Perfect. So what we do first is as an anchor, you have to get it anchored, and to do that is going to be what's called an anchor attack. And so this is going to be sort of our first attack that we see in the game. So attacks actually happen in multiple stages. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to roll accuracy, which is as many d6s as you choose to roll, and you're essentially aiming against the accuracy stat of the Titan. What is the accuracy stat? I don't know. No one's shot at this thing yet, so we don't know what that is. But you're going to roll as many dice as you choose, from 1 to 8 in your case right now. If you successfully hit it, then you will have to do another roll to get through the armor of that section of the Titan. As stated, these stats are different for each section of the beast, so just because one number hits and works on one section doesn't mean it will also work on the others. So, you're first aiming and shooting. How many dice do you want to spend to try and hit it?
And did these replenish each turn? Or
Every turn, exactly. Yep.
Okay, cool. Then I'm just going to use all of them.
Okay, you will need to keep, because it will be an entirely separate roll to get through the armor. So I wouldn't spend all 8, because essentially you're going to have to make 2 rolls to complete this attack.
So 4 then, I think.
You're going to do 4? Okay, roll me 4d6.
All right, I can do that for you.
Damn, and I need to switch back to chat so I can see the results. We rolled an 11. Absolutely, that hits. You aim true, you square, you hit those hind legs. How many dice do you want to roll to get through the armor?
I think I'll roll the 4, like, because I'm trying to just like stop it.
Certainly, absolutely. So roll your 4 dice.
Awesome sauce. I can do that for you now.
22. That's a good roll. Yes.
Did I do it?
You might be surprised, but you made it through the meaty, fleshy part of those rear hind legs, and your bolt latches into place and holds it tight, and now it's anchored. It will remain anchored for essentially the entire combat encounter unless it does something to pull itself loose. And now, Drake, you can look at your character sheet. You don't have any dice left this turn, but you've got several abilities that you can then spend dice on in future turns to affect it in certain ways.
Awesome.
Okay, so the Titan has been anchored. There's a big metal bolt in its hind right leg. What are we doing now?
Whew.
I want to try to blind it by shooting an arrow at its eyeballs.
You're going to shoot an arrow at its eyes. Okay, now you only have 4 dice. And also, Drake, of course, you should make sure all your dice are exhausted at this point as well, up in that category. And all right, so first thing, now your rolls with a ranged weapon is a 3-part attack. You have to roll to beat its accuracy. You have to roll to get through its armor, and then you roll however many dice you want, and it'll deal that many points of damage.
All right, let's try this.
So how many do you want to roll on accuracy?
Let's do so here here's a question. Do I have to use my eagle eye ability in order to get my free die on accuracy rolls, or is that always automatic?
That's always automatic, yes. And what you're referencing is the scout has a special ability, which is they gain a free die on all accuracy rolls. A free die means exactly what it sounds like. You get an extra die on the attack. Having said that, any abilities, and most of you all, I should say most of you all, maybe most of you all should have abilities that grant you free die in different circumstances. You always have to spend at least one of your die to get that free die. So on your accuracy roll, you can shoot, but you have to spend at least one of your die, and then you'd get a roll till.
All right, so let's try. Let you spend the 1 die, and then get my free die for spending the die.
Okay,
so let's try 2.
Two dice, roll them up to shoot it right in the head.
All right. Come on, little dice. Roll for me. Probably not. I got a 4.
A great roll as it's lurching in pain from the anchor in its shoulder, and it jumps to the left and the arrow flies. So now what's happened, Grant, is you've only exhausted one of your dice, but it's still your turn. You still have 3 dice available. You could still continue to do more actions. You could not. Entirely your choice.
I'm gonna try again.
Okay.
I'm
for the head again?
Yeah, just 1 die. So I'm gonna be like, hey, I got a 10 to hit.
10. This time, you absolutely, it lurched once, but you've gotten its flailing motions down, so you see it. You aim it right for one of its soulful little eyes, and you let loose the arrow. It's definitely on track. Next thing you need to roll is to get through its armor. How many dice are you rolling for that?
Just uno. I got a
1
1
dice. 1 as you hit that bony part of the brow, and it does nothing. That leaves you only 1 dice left.
I've killed so many trees today. I'm not gonna do nothing with it.
Okay, so we still have Biddy and Reaver.
Yep.
Before we go on, Nervous in the chat pointed out that we might not have done the +2 for that damage that Pro did.
Because we actually have not dealt any damage to it. The anchor itself does not deal damage. It only hooks.
Cool. Good to know.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like this creature is probably pretty ticked off right now. And I like this ability that I have. It's called Distraction. And I want to try and draw the Titan's attention towards me.
Okay. I love it. So you can roll as many dice as you want, and what you're trying to beat is its intellect stat, whatever that may be.
Right on. This doesn't seem like one of the attacks where I'd also be trying to get through armor, so I could use all my dice right now, right?
You most certainly could choose to use all your dice if you so wanted to. Yep. Yeah, because this is just a 1 roll. You're rolling against its intellect. If you beat it, then you succeed.
I really want to win and have this thing distracted, because that sounds really fun. So on this turn, at least, I'm going to do that.
All right. Give me the roll. You're doing all 6?
Yeah. Is that something that I push in my...
Yeah, so if you look, one of the easiest ways to do it, although, wow, it stops it at 5, doesn't it? That's not nice. I was going to say, if you look over in your dice roller...
I can make it pop up to 6, I think. Did that do it?
Let's see. It hasn't rolled it yet.
Oh, no, it's asking for a number. How does that do?
The best thing to do is over on your left-hand side, you see the little dice thing? There's a D20 symbol, and if you just literally click one of those numbers, like I just did, yeah, it'll do its thing.
And then one more.
Ignore mine. Yes. Yes. So your total of the roll is 29. Which is very much like you just see while it was concentrating what was going on with the anchor, its whole head and its body just turns and faces you, and you just see those big dark eyes staring right at you.
Which is very appropriate because I also have really dark eyes, and we're staring into each other's eyes, and there's this moment of connection, and I start doing the Macarena, and they are very distracted.
Horn hogs are notoriously distracted by the Macarena. Yes. Reaver.
Okay. Psyching up, and then I'm gonna just move myself, my long legs kicking up dust behind me as I reach for the Titan, and then attempt to cling on to the fur of its hind quarters.
Absolutely. So you're trying to climb up the legs. As will probably be known, you got to roll as many dice as you want against its climb rating to see if you successfully climb up to the legs.
Okay, let me see if I have climbing stuff. I gain 1 free die on all climbing checks.
Yes. So just like Liam was doing on his turn, essentially whatever dice you choose to roll, you'll get an extra +1 to that. You do have to spend at least one of your dice though to do it.
Okay, and I have 6 die here available. So I'm gonna spend 3 and get my extra 1 to be 4.
Roll 4 dice. Absolutely.
Yeah, 17.
17 will absolutely get you. So we actually move you onto the legs portion of the Titan. So now you are on the beast. You do have 3 dice left. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna no, I'm not gonna keep climbing. Am I gonna keep climbing? Let's see. I think I have anchors. That might be useful.
You do have a special item, don't you?
Yeah, I have a climbing spike.
Yeah, so what does it say the climbing spike does?
It says spend 1 action die to plant the spike into the part of the Titan you are currently on. Anyone climbing this part of the Titan gets a +4 bonus to the total of all rolls made to resist shake effects.
So that is most certainly something that you could do.
Yeah, that's only if anybody else wants to climb up here. So I'm going to relay that back to everybody else and say, y'all want a piece of this?
I think you got it.
I lick my lips at it.
I need a yes or no. Be succinct.
I ambiguously shrug. No, I don't really have much I can do.
I am very busily Macarenaing, and
that's true.
Join you climbing. So
you are Macarenaing.
I'll go up if you want. I can do that.
If you want to come up, because you're the one who can spot stuff. Weaknesses. I'll plant a spike into it.
Okay, so you just spend 1 die, so you exhaust one of your dice, and then what that does is I'm going to draw a little, as it's literally like a screw-in spike that goes to the flesh and gives you like a good solid handhold for anyone that may try and get thrown off of this thing.
Yeah.
Yes. That does still leave you with 2 dice. Anything else you want to do on this turn?
I might as well just keep attempting to climb up then.
Okay, so you want to try and climb up to the body portion?
Yeah, why not? And let me just make sure. I just want to. Okay, I only want to spend 1 die for this because I do have an ability that requires me to have a die.
Okay.
Make sure I don't fall.
Okay.
So I will spend 1. That's the boar. I will spend 1 die and roll 2.
Okay, give me those double rolls. 9. 9 is enough, and that climbs you onto the body portion of the Titan. Okay, that leaves you 1 die. It sounds like you're saving that, so it sounds like the players have completed their turns on climbing this Titan. So now it is its turn. You hear Marshall from up in safety, not where the 4 of you all are, and he goes, "Hopefully you save something back for defense." And with that, you see the Titan just starts running down Biddy, like full on charging, and it's going to gore Biddy. Biddy, do you have any dice to roll for defense?
I totally used them all. I have nothing. Didn't even think about it.
So
I am
mean of a
ready
GM not to tell you all that you have to roll active defenses, but this is a training Titan. So yes, when you are attacked, the Titan and the GM will never roll dice. Your only way to defend against it and its effects is if you yourself have dice to roll, and if not, you get hit.
Gore me.
You get gored completely under as it runs over top of you. You did a great job distracting it. It was all about you.
You're doing great, Biddy.
But wait, what about the anchor?
Yes, the anchor is in place, but he has not used any dice to actually affect it yet.
Oh no!
Yes, because one of the things it can do is it can affect attack rolls if the anchor has dice available when this happens.
Well.
Well, we've learned valuable lessons today. As you get run over with the charge attack, it deals 4 points of damage to you. Now, you might notice that there's not any hit points anywhere on your character sheet. So let's talk about how damage works. Biddy, what you need to do is you need to roll 4d6s. If any of them, or all, hopefully not all of them, land on a 1, they are removed from your dice pool for the rest of the encounter.
What?
So
That's very sad.
Roll me 4d6s.
Okay. 46 is right here.
Ooh,
One of them is gone forever.
So if you go into your character sheet, you can notice there's a little marker that you can actually, I think it actually tells you how much damage you have. If you select that to 1, it will X out, and now you only have 5 in your dice pool.
Sadness, but cool.
As it got run over. That is the end of the Titan's turn. Now we return to you all. All of your dice will now fully refresh. There was no shake effects that you had to roll against. Note for anyone climbing on the Titan, some actions that it will do will cause it to actively try and throw you off. And if you don't have dice to roll, you will be thrown off the Titan and take damage accordingly. So Marshall is up getting a chuckle as one of you got trampled horrifically underfoot. We still do have Reaver climbed up on the back of this thing and an anchor sitting in the back leg of it. It is now you all's turn to act again. What is our strategy?
Whew.
Seeing this this gore display, Drake is not happy, and Drake is going to like zip line over to like another little ridge that's there, and is going to like run across the field, and I'm going to spend, I think it's 2 die to reload.
I will say this, you don't actually have to reload and reshoot because once you have the anchor, now it's in, you still have a hold of it, and you can do all of your stuff because it is still anchored.
Okay. Is there a benefit to like anchoring it more than once?
Not with any of your current abilities. In the full game, you sort of have like a skill tree progression of skills, so you can buy up with the joke that we say is hashtag higher abilities. It is a hashtag higher ability to be able to anchor it in multiple ways and sort of fully pin it down. But you all are the equivalent of level 1 character, so you don't have that right now.
Okay, cool, nice then. So with this happening then, I think Drake kind of puts another pin in the wall to kind of set it off balance, and it's just like tightening it, and I'm going to do the off balance ability.
Perfect. So you're literally going to try and essentially yank this thing off balance. So you get to roll as many dice as you want against the strength stat of the Titan to try and pull it off balance.
Yeah, I think I'm going to spend see here. I think I'm going to spend 3 dice.
3 dice on it? Okay.
Yeah, to kind of get it off balance and then keep the 3.
All right. Roll me them 3 dice.
Yeah.
17. That's the dice definitely like you.
Did I do that?
Yes. As you yank and you literally pull the feet just out from under it, and it slams down onto its belly. So it's laying flat all the way across the ground. At this point, if anyone wanted to try and climb, Reaver, you're perfectly fine where you are, but anyone can now climb directly onto the legs, body, or head from where it's currently lying.
I look over to our overseer and I'm just like, that's how you do it.
I'm gonna call out before I go up there. I'm gonna be like, Reaver,
Yeah.
gouge its eyes out, and that's gonna be my encouragement to give you 2 more dice.
Okay.
Wait, use your left hand, your good one.
I've kind of got an eye thing, but all right.
Eat its heart out. Yeah, so I'm going to spend 2 dice for encouragement. I'm going to try to fire the bow again, spending a die and a free die to see if I hit this.
Which part are you targeting?
The mouth part of its face.
You're going for the head. All righty. Once again, it's on the ground going for the head. One of the things you could communicate is with Drake to see if there's anything Drake could do to also assist you even further on this.
Drake, you're good at shooting things with things. Is there any good advice you've got for me on where I should shoot, or maybe how I should hold the bow? I mean, should I picture myself like Toby's father from Disney's Robin Hood, the old turtle with like the archery thing? Like,
I'm like straining to hear. I'm like, yeah, I mean, just as because just what could I help with this?
So you actually have one of your other special abilities, which while you have it tightened, is essentially you can roll dice. I don't remember the name of the ability. I don't have your character sheet up. A good designer would know those answers. But you have an ability that allows you to roll dice to reduce its evasion and shake stats.
Oh, disrupt the limb. Okay, cool.
Disrupt the limb. Yes. So essentially, what you can do is choose to roll as many dice as you want. And that will reduce the creature's evasion and shake stats by whatever amount you roll.
Nice, cool, okay. Before I had to save that until it did an attack, but I would do that now, and I'll spend 2 dice.
And that's part of how the wonderful game works. Is it's open communication between the team, and you're welcome to do these at any steps that you like.
Nice.
So rolling 2 dice. 5. Okay. So for the rest of the turn, all evasion checks and shake effects, or I should say its stats for those 2 things, are reduced by 5 until the start of the next turn. So
awesome.
you have to you can roll 5 less and still succeed of whatever those magic numbers are.
Well,
super cool.
Liam,
I got a 4, so I don't think well, maybe it's been reduced.
No,
so
you do hit it. Thank goodness for your anchor, who essentially pulls the beast and drags its legs further back, so it's too exhausted to try and move or dodge. As 4 is enough to now hit on the accuracy. You do need to get through the armor. How many dice do you want to roll for the armor?
Yeah, I imagine this looks like, kind of like Doc Holliday and Tombstone. My eyes meet it, and I wink at it, and then fire the bow, and it gets, we'll see if this penetrates. I'm going to do two dice to try to get through the armor.
2 dice to get through the armor? Give me that roll.
No, that's one. That's 1d26.
1d26.
I got a 25. No,
numbers are really just
9.
25 on 2d6. It's a miraculous roll. 9 will absolutely get through the armor. So now any dice you have left, you can roll, and it'll deal however much damage you roll.
All right, die, you swine. 1 point.
1 point of damage. As it's wonderful, you got all the way through, and you just, there's a little tiniest trickle of blood that comes down its cheek. It almost looks like it's crying.
I'm the one pip wonder. Yeah.
As it goes down. Okay, I think that's exhausted all of your dice. We still have Reaver and Biddy.
I feel like you should go, Reaver.
Okay. I now that the thing is on the ground, I probably have a much more stable thing to step on. So I'm just gonna get off my knees to my feet and begin hoofing it to the neck and head.
Okay. Yep. So you'll move over to the head. You still do have to make a climb check for it.
Okay. I'll do that then. I have to. Oh, how do I unexhaust my dice?
Oh, you should be able to just click and manually move them down.
Okay.
You just click in the open space below. It should move them, right?
Oh, yep. You're right. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna spend 2 dice for this and roll 3.
Okay. 2 dice and roll 3 to climb to the head.
Yep. 11.
11. 11 will absolutely do it as you get yourself up to the head.
Pull myself over its brow, and then I'm gonna take my my claws. I have special climbing claws with which to stab Titans with?
The climbing claws actually are what allow you to climb
Oh,
up.
never mind. I have a special Titan sword.
You have a Titan
called sword that allows me to stab Titans.
You most certainly do. So melee attacks happen in two parts. You don't have any accuracy to roll because you're on the thing. You're physically holding onto it. But you have to roll to get through its armor, and then you get to roll however much damage that you want after you get through its armor.
Okay, so I like that I'm just like so close that there's no way I'm not going to hit it at this point.
Exactly.
Okay. Amazing. Okay. Okay.
So,
or I could put a climbing spike into the eye.
Well, I believe you only had the one, right?
Oh, no.
Yes,
I'll think better next time.
And you chose to put it in the realm.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, I will spend. I'll spend 3 here.
3 to get through the armor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 9. 9 will absolutely get you through that armor. So now you can roll as many dice as you want to deal damage.
Okay. I'm gonna roll the 1. Yay, because that's all I have left.
That's fine. Rolling the 1 point of 1 dice of damage.
6.
6 is a good number to roll on that. As you
Nice.
plunge it deep in, it starts to roll over, and it's trying to get back up from its position. As in response to that damage, it's trying to get away. But we still have Biddy.
Yep.
It's funny that they're starting to get back up because having been trampled mid-Macarena, I was just about to do the little hip swivel. And so I hip swivel as I stand back up, as it's trying to stand back up. And in that motion, draw my bow
Okay.
and make a ranged attack.
All
now
right.
I'm learning because I do want to be able to defend myself later. So I'm only going to use 1 die to attack because I have learned that a 4 might possibly get past this thing's defenses.
Good eyes.
Oh,
And
but
which
I
part?
want to use my weak spot. Oh, no,
Oh.
that's only on damage rolls.
It is only on
Can't do that
damage
yet.
rolls. But a couple things. Start with which part of the Titan were you attacking? Was it the head?
Definitely the leg.
Okay, you're shooting at the leg for it. That is enough to hit the leg.
Yes!
Yep.
Not a 4, but still good enough. That makes me super happy.
Yep.
So
So that will hit the leg. Next, you need to roll to get through the armor of the leg.
All right. Here we go. Because, like I said, I still want to have some defense. I'm still using 1 dice. Let's see what happens. Come on.
I need to scroll and scroll.
Oh.
2. 2 will get through the armor of the leg.
Yes! I love this game already. It's so good.
Surprisingly, the meaty flesh is not super well armored. As you get through, you can roll as many dice as you would like for damage.
Okay. So using weak spot,
Yep.
if I roll 1, that means I actually roll 2, right?
So weak spot is just a static +2 to the total of the roll. So if you rolled 3 dice and got a 9, it would up it to an 11.
I'm totally going to go with that if that's what you want. But on my sheet, it says 1 free die on all damage rolls.
Oh, you also get a free die on all damage rolls. So if you chose to spend 1 die, you would roll 2 die. And then because, did you identify as the weak spot? You identify as the weak spot,
Yeah,
right?
go for the throat.
Exactly. Then you also get a +2 on top of it. Yep.
Sick.
Yep.
So 2d6.
+2.
Good. 8 damage. I feel happy about it.
8 points of damage as its legs. You get one. It pretty much it hit a nerve in just the right point where you see the left leg is now pretty much completely limp at this point. Right leg is still kicking though.
And to
yeah, go
top it all off, I want to
Sure.
use 1 more die to do a distraction again. Hopefully get it to focus its attacks on me.
Okay. Give me that dice roll.
So Biddy is now attempting to do the moonwalk.
3. Okay. And once again, it's focused on you. all about what you're doing.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. It is now, I believe, the Titan's turn. Did anyone else have any dice that they wanted to roll before it's the Titan's turn?
I just forgot that I have encouragement from Liam.
Yeah, so you
So
have
I
those
should have
2 dice.
gotten, so I should have 2 more dice in my pool, and then I could have treated that 3 dice die that I rolled earlier is 1.
Yes.
Correct?
So that is correct. You
Okay.
could have rolled extra dice on that if you so chose. I'm going to say having those 2 extra dice isn't necessarily going to be a bad thing for what's about to occur. Not
No. I'm glad I remembered.
because what it's now going to do is it's now literally going to try and roll from its seated position over top of Biddy, who has again angered it with his Macarena, as well as try and throw and damage everyone that's currently on the Titan. So it's literally rolling over. So Biddy, do you have any dice to roll an evasion?
I do.
Do you? You may roll any dice that you want, trying to avoid it.
Great.
Likewise, Reaver, you may also need to roll dice to try and avoid an attack, as otherwise you will get crushed underneath of this thing.
Am I able to, as it's trying to do this, set it off balance again by spending my 1 dice?
No, you can't use the off balance abilities. The one that you do have does help you counter an attack. I think, is that the disrupt the limb one?
Disrupt the limb, yes.
Yes. So that will essentially, you can use that to reduce its essentially accuracy of its attack rolls if you're hooked onto the part of the Titan that's making that attack. It's actually the body of the Titan that's making this attack, and you're hooked onto the leg, so you could not do it in this case.
Okay, cool.
So something to think about also when you're anchoring in the next Titan battle.
Definitely.
Okay. So I see we got a D6 roll from Biddy. Is Reaver, are you going to roll any of your 2 to try and avoid the attack?
Just 1d6.
You got a 1, which was not
Okay.
great.
Nope.
But probably smart. Biddy, you avoided and got out of the way as this thing rolls. Reaver, you did not. You take 2 damage. So roll 2 of your D6s. Any ones are removed from your dice pool.
Okay.
I'm still imagining me moonwalking backwards. So it's like making a roll and I like take 1 step back and it like flops right in front of my forefoot. Good times. Good times.
Yes, fantastic.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, you did roll a 1, so that 1 is removed from your dice pool. So you'll see on your character sheet you can increase your damage. So increase that damage to 1, you'll see it'll X out one
Question,
of your dice.
is this damage from falling or damage from being crushed? Because
Yep, this is damage from an attack. It's not from falling.
Okay.
Although you might still experience that, because not only did this attack target and deal damage, it also resulted in what we call a shake effect, which is essentially anyone climbing on the Titan needs to roll to prevent from being thrown off of the Titan, which you need to make that roll. I think you do still have a dice remaining, don't you?
I do. Hold on, but I thought, sorry.
Sure.
I get dice removed.
Yes, so you do lose one of the dice, but it doesn't affect how much dice you have available.
Okay,
but
thank you.
in future turns, essentially, you're going to start each of your turns with only 5 dice instead of 6 now.
I see. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So, that's that. You 3 and 3, because the shake effect has been reduced due to the anchor's ability. 3 is enough, and you remain held on to the Titan.
Great. So it like leans over and just bashes me into the side of the wall.
Exactly.
Clinging
You're still
on.
holding on to it like, no, I'm not going anywhere. All right. So with that, we roll back over to the 3 of you, or the 4 of you all. There's 4 players in this game. It is now your turn. Reset all of your dice for those who haven't lost any dice. For those who have lost dice, reset what you have. And it is your turn. Reaver is hanging on. Biddy is doing the Macarena. We have Drake has got this thing anchored in deep, and Liam is continuing to shout and shoot.
All right,
What do we want to do?
I'm running over to Biddy with a fire extinguisher and spending 3 available dice to heal 1 of her points of damage. That's going to be my consumable. Just
That
here.
is an interesting interpretation of a med kit, but okay. I'm taught as a GM to say yes, and yes, theoretically yes.
It's an
feel like
antiseptic
when
spray.
I got smashed, like there was like little scrapes across my body, like teeny tiny little rock scrapes, and like now they're just getting filled with this like gel coming out of this fire.
It's just a bag of sand. Just
It's like in motor shops when they throw kitty litter to soak up oil. It's just like, oh, they've got scratches. Here's kitty litter. Now you're fine.
There you go. Yeah. And then I'm gonna call out to Reaver again. I'm gonna be like, "You're looking great up there," and I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna encourage you as well. And then I'm holding on to my last die before that boar realizes I still exist.
Just to clarify, does healing automatically happen?
Yes.
At the end.
So essentially, this will immediately restore that dice. So he used a med kit. It took, which is a special item that he has, and it took 3 of his dice that he had to spend to essentially use that on you. But yes, it does immediately restore that 1 damage.
Cool.
Yep. And then Reaver, you have been granted 2 extra dice. All right, who's up next?
Goodness gracious.
I think Reaver's in an interesting position of a whole bunch of dice and sitting on top of this thing.
I know. I'm going to crawl my way over to its other eye and take out my sword, which is specifically for stabbing titans with. Stab it in its other eye.
All right, so you're already on it, so you don't have to move anywhere. All you need to do is roll to get through its armor, and then roll as much damage as you would like.
Okay, I'm going to use... 1 with 2 free ones to roll to try to get through its armor.
Okay.
So that's going to be the 3. 10.
10 will absolutely get through the armor.
Beautiful.
How much dice do you want to roll on damage?
Let's roll 3 dice on damage. Boop boop. 16.
Whoa, there we go. As you stab in deep your sword that is specifically designed for killing titans, as been discussed.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the song I sing. Come on, hey mama, won't you do the
and forever.
And you find that perfect hole right up underneath the eye, and it sinks deep and it sinks easy as the Titan just lets out one last big sigh and just settles dead on the ground. Every combat is from Final Fantasy VII, by the way.
Always.
Yes, that's a requirement of playing this game.
Trying to grow my materia. Sorry.
And you have beaten the first Titan. Marshall comes up. Not too bad. Y'all don't look that roughed up. So if we've done well here, let's we've got a little bit more pressing matter, something a little bit more dangerous than a horn hog. One of the farms out on the east side of town has had a legatus show up. Vile creatures. We need it removed. And considering you all are freshly minted Titan hunters, and he goes around to each of you and pins what is clearly like a just roughly carved stick onto your, like, this is a medal of some kind within your culture. As he pins one to each of you, it is time for you to go and hunt your first real Titan. Are you ready? He slaps the wounds on Reaver.
Ow.
Vinny's gonna use their very cool hat to, like, get that shadow going across just their eyes.
Hyper anime, love it.
Let's get dangerous.
Darkwing Duck it.
Darkwing Duck.
Yes.
On the contrast to that, as I have this stick medal, Drake is just bawling tears. Like,
oh, that's so good.
I drop Marshall like, the nurse and the sailor and give him a kiss. Just there. Sorry, you didn't consent for that. They'll never have me back on Roll20.
I clean the blood off of my blade, thinking back fondly to simpler times when I lived on the back of a giant turtle, and then I sheathe my blade and say, "My bruises have bruises."
Simpler times when I lived on the back of a giant turtle. That's a good. That is just a good. That's a tagline right there. I love it. I love it. Okay, in the interest of time and because we're on a wonderful stream, so what's going to happen now, what would normally happen in the game is now you would take resources from this Titan and then you'd go back to your settlement and you would build it up. We would do a cultural development step where essentially we get to learn more and more about your culture and things like what are these little tiny stick metals? What's the significance of them? We would dig deeper into that, and then you would go out and do a Titan hunt. Again, for the playtest, we're just playing around with combat, and I think on our time frame we're going to get one more of these together. Just as a nice note, considering the GM wasn't super nice on that one and not telling you about things like active defense, this was a very, very easy Titan. There's no chance, there shouldn't be any chance of anyone really dying on this one. The next one we're about to fight is more of a medium difficulty Titan and has a little bit more complexity to how you're going to have to approach it. So fair warning with all of that, okay?
I'm really glad to hear that there is a gathering thing, because lots of people in the chat are saying that we need to get some bacon from that pig.
Yes.
And that would definitely be happening in game during that next session.
Absolutely. Yes. Yep. As we have all of that. So we're going to go ahead and move you all on over. Let's see. Isn't there an easy way to move tokens now?
I think you can copy and paste, like select them all, copy and paste them.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you can also just drag and drop across the pages as well.
Ooh,
fancy,
like move the players. Oh gosh, can you imagine like the form of transportation? Like everything's huge, but like what if people like just had skulls on wheels that they rode around in, just like giant Titan skulls?
Oh, and it could be like using little finger bones as wheels.
Right, we're like riding to our next destination in this boar skull eating bacon.
yes. Flintstone feet propelling it.
Yes.
Gothic.
So good.
And that is actually part of how the game is supposed to work, because each settlement and each kind of, I don't want to say world, but to a degree world, it is unique to its own. So the cultural building aspect is establishing all of that, from like what your infrastructure looks like, to what your religion, to what your government, to how you deal with the different classes of society and all of that stuff. You actually get to build that together. So I do like that we have skulls for wheels, and that we have this sort of looks very 80s metal cart that you all are going down to the farm to deal with the next beat.
We often have really heated debates about which kind of Titan skull is faster than the other. It's drag races all night long.
Dynamics.
We make the rubbing noises with our mouths.
The bones are less dense.
Somebody got a bird skull Titan and tried to make it fly off a cliff.
Oh,
It
no.
went badly for them.
Oh, poor Bird Skull Titan.
Yeah,
I'm not supposed to feel bad for these things, but you know, bad every now and then.
those crazy Wright brothers always building things.
Then with their skull kites, what are you gonna do? So with all of that insanity, we move ourselves on to I think, did I move you all? We are looking at the right screen. We are looking at the right screen. Okay, you all come up on the scene. This is a small town that's nestled in sort of like the foothills of the mountain range that you all are near. You come up to this legatus. It's a giant soldier-looking thing. You all have known about these for a while. There's many of these that kind of roam the countryside sort of aimlessly, since their god went back to wherever dimension it came from and left them kind of stranded here after the war. It has a giant gut that's just sort of protruding out, as pretty much all it does is walk around and eat all day. It's sitting down again on the foothills, kind of leaning its back on those foothills of the mountains. When it sees the four of you come up, it stands up to its feet. You can see its armor is kind of broken and falling off of it. There's still armor on the right arm where it has a giant stone sword in its hand. And there is armor up on the head, but most of the other armor has fallen and broken away from this thing from time. As it stands to its feet, it lets out this sort of it's a guttural call, but it does sound like there's almost some melody behind it. That they're known for these things, that they sort of wander and sing these deep tunes, and people have speculated on whether they're communicating or whether it's an old war song or what exactly that is, but it's not in a language that any of us can decipher.
Oh, it's like old troll folklore.
Yeah, yes. Maybe with like a dash dash of Roman in there. There's a lot of mixed up stuff in this, and I love it. I love it for that. Yep. So the four of you come up. This thing is standing. It's squared off to you. Anyone who took damage in the last combat, of course, is healed in between combats. They only last for that. So everyone should be up at full. This Titan is broken down into 5 different parts. We have the legs, the torso, the right arm, which is your sword arm, the left arm, which is the non-sword arm, and the head. And it is time for us to go into another battle. Again, this one will be a little bit harder and a little bit more complicated, and that's perfectly fine. So you all have come up onto this. Once again, the team looks over to Liam. What should we do?
All right. I'm thinking we've either got to disarm him right away or put him on his butt. So we've got to figure out how we're going to do that. I mean...
Yeah.
I heard stories of this movie called The Empire Strikes Back where they wrapped things legs up and brought them down. Don't know if we could do that. It's worth trying. I worry about aiming for his paunch. His helmet's probably pretty good. But his right arm's the armored arm, and that's where his sword is. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe trip him up, make him drop it, or just set him out straight so he can't use it.
Biddy starts talking in meta about how great it would be to retcon and not have had this thing stand up, and they could have snuck behind it on the hill that it was leaning against and started playing soothing music in its ear. But what's in the past is in the past.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have made all those revving noises with my mouth.
My great Grammy tried that once before. She snuck up on a sneaking one, and well, apparently a black hole opens, and you end up with eyes that look just like yours. No offense. So it's. I think what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try some arrow shots. I'm gonna try to disarm him. I'm thinking. I'm just gonna pot shot from a distance. This is like a soft jab. I'm gonna just single die. I get the free die. Then if we hit, I'm gonna try really hard with an armor penetration, and then just try to do some damage. Now I don't know if. And I'm not too worried about it if I can actually disarm it. But I figure, I might as well try to damage that arm. Try to get the sword out.
What? So are you targeting that right arm then?
Yeah, right arm, and I'm just gonna. I'll get 2d6. I'll use 1 die and then have my free die. And then if I miss, I'm probably gonna try it again.
Okay.
So I got a 6.
6 is enough to hit it. So your arrow flies true. Next, you have to get through its armor.
Okay, so spent 1 die. Then I'm going to spend 3 dice to try to get through its armor.
3 dice to get through its armor.
Got a 10.
10 will absolutely. You find one of those holes in between where the big plates are, and it goes right in. How much damage you want to roll? I think you only have 1 dice.
I do only have. Actually, I have 2 dice because I get a bonus die for free on accuracy range.
You sure do.
And here's a question too, just to ask. Well, I don't. The first question is, have I ever seen one of these before?
I guess you tell me in that regards.
No, that'll simplify the mechanics.
You're talking about the mechanic side of things.
Yeah.
That would apply if you had in character fought one of these before, or if you see it during this combat. But yes, no.
So
yeah.
All right, so
I forgot you have a mechanical thing about that. I thought you were just being nice and asking a narrative question, Liam. No. But no, trying to play the game. How dare you?
Never on my watch. I'm gonna just do 1 die for damage, so 2. It's probably
2 points of damage. Again, the arrow sticks true. It deals 2 points of damage, a trickle of blood, and it sort of shakes that right elbow a little bit as it feels the pain creeping in.
I just kind of nod mockingly and save my single die to evade should it come.
Oh, if you knock that thing out, I might be able to get, under it, hide under the sword, and then ride it up right to the top when he picks it up.
Ooh. The old slippin' Jimmy, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Knock it out.
I'm trying.
I think as this was going on, Drake was kind of setting up, and Drake is going to get its It's elbow, I think. Number 3.
Okay, you're shooting for, and I will say, just from a mechanical sense, essentially, there's the 5 parts, and a part is a part. So if you're going for you're welcome to narratively describe it, but just so everyone's on the same page, if you're either going for the right arm, left arm, head, torso, or legs.
Oh, okay, see, I thought it was the hand or the elbow. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna go for the hand, and I'm gonna try and skewer that.
Okay, and are you going for the sword arm?
The sword arm, yeah.
Okay. So first thing is accuracy.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend. I'm gonna spend 3 dice on that. I think. I want that. Do. Shoot. Did I do it?
15. Yep, that will absolutely. Yep. So you 3 dice. You successfully target it. You find a spot. Next, you need to roll through to get through its armor. To get it.
See here, I'm going to spend 2 dice to do that. 6.
6 will get through its armor. So you succeed, you get in, you hook under that plate, and you've got a good hold on that right arm.
Yeah, I don't know if it's ambidextrous, but let's hope not.
There's only an 8% chance. Made up statistics by Grant Ellis.
Sure. Yep. Nope. I love it. It's going in the book. 8% chance. Ambidextrous. Does this mean anything? No, not at all. We're only doing one art piece. It's always going to have a sword in its right arm. Might be ambidextrous, choosing to fight offhand. We have Reaver and Biddy.
I'm okay with you going.
I think I'm going to spend my time trying to keep out of notice of it if I can.
Okay.
I want to try to get behind it.
You most certainly can. One of the interesting aspects of how combat works in this game is we don't really care about distance, front, back, left, or right, other than whatever narrative description that you so choose. So if you want to try and get behind it, climb up the back of the legs, mechanically it's going to be the same as climbing up the front of the legs. What we do care about is height. It's all about vertical combat.
Yeah, okay. Reaver spends this time as shots are being fired into the thing's right arm, ducking along the brush to try to get behind it, and then I'm not entirely sure I want to do anything right now. I think I'm just going to retain my dice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to climb it yet. I'm going to approach this one a little bit more safely because it doesn't seem as,
not as cute and cuddly.
Not as cute as cuddly as the boar. That was not too cute and cuddly,
Hey, you were saying before that you wanted a Titan to smooch with. This is closer.
It is a little, it's got the right sort of anatomical thing going on, so.
It's got halitosis.
And also halitosis. But yeah, I'm going to retain my dice.
Okay, so Reaver is retaining dice. That leaves Biddy.
Okay, I heard correctly, and the hand is anchored, correct?
That is correct.
So I really liked our leader's idea of getting things wrapped up. This is not a move that I have, but is a thing that makes sense to me.
Okay.
That I could do a distraction that would encourage the Titan to spin and follow me, provided I beat some kind of intelligence thing against it. And while not maybe this turn getting it wrapped up, could eventually lead to having this creature trip themselves up on the wire from their hand wrapping up their legs.
I love this plan, and at its core, while there's quite a few obviously mechanics to this game, this is a role-playing game, and the great thing about not making a board game is you get to just say yes to that kind of stuff. So I'm fully on board with the plan. Yes, you will be able to use your distraction, and I see entirely what you're building towards, and it's a good plan. I love it. So you would use your distraction ability, same thing as before. Roll as many dice as you want against its intellect score.
Great. I am gonna use 5, keep 1 in reserve for that evasion stuff later, because I'm learning.
22 will definitely succeed in getting its attention, and all of its attention is on you.
Awesome. I feel like we probably made some money back in the other town after we took that Titan down, and I invested in some instruments, and am essentially a one-person band, a la Pinkie Pie in the Paris Bright episode.
Yes.
And I'm making lots of music, and it's very interested in this ridiculous little creature that's making all this sound.
Pinky Best Pony, by the way, or Discord Best Pony, one of the two. Even though I know Discord's not a pony, I still love me some Discord.
Everyone's gone.
Dice floating around, but shy of that. Anyone else would take anything, or is it Titan's turn?
Now I'm gonna wait for the time to go, and then I'm gonna reduce its stuff.
Okay. It is the Titan. It does have all of its attention once again on Biddy, who Biddy has a very fascinating death wish. What it does is it pulls up its giant right foot, and it's trying to stomp it down on Biddy.
Okay.
Nice.
So as this is happening, I wanna do off balance, and as it's going to stomp down with its 1 foot, I wanna crank on the wire and have the arm like jerk back, so it's just like backward and forward motion, so it doesn't really get the balance properly.
I love it.
It might trip up.
I think that's great. How many dice are you rolling for that?
Just one.
Just the one dice. Okay. Give me a roll.
Roll20 just kicked me out. Give me 1 second. Titan was like, no.
That's perfectly fine.
5.
5 is not enough as you pull, and it is too stout and too strong as the foot comes down. Biddy, do you have anything to dodge?
I have one more dice that I saved for evasion.
One die. Roll that die for me.
5's not bad.
Unfortunately, it is not enough as a giant foot stomps down on you. You take 3 points of damage. While you are rolling that 3 points of damage, the earth like upheaves out in directions from the stomp, resulting in an attack against everyone else besides you that's currently on the ground.
Ooh.
And the bagpipes that I was holding make a giant fart sound.
Yes, as you do lose a dice from that. Anyone on the ground? Does anyone have dice still available to roll? Again, this portion of the attack will not affect Biddy because Biddy's under it.
I have a single die.
Okay, you can roll that to try and evade. I will note you don't need to start rolling damage yet because it's not 3 damage coming at you, but Marcie, we will take that as your damage roll. That's fine.
I have no dice.
That's fine. Are you going to do your evasion on this attack, Liam?
Well, I think we've established I haven't seen it before. So I'm going to evade with my single die, but I won't get my free one. 6.
6. That will get you. You will find the part where the earth is not upheaving and dive into that to avoid the attack. Our other 2 characters both get hit with the upheaval and sort of just tossed. It only deals 1 point of damage to each of you. Marcie, again, you rolled 3 and passed them, so you're fine. But Drake, you'll take 1 point of damage, so you'll roll a d6.
Man.
Have your it didn't pop up on my screen. Has it rolled?
Whoa, what's that?
Oh, I'm sorry, Drake. You took 1 point of damage, so you need to roll a d6 to see if that did actually land damage on you.
Oh, okay. I didn't actually hear what you said. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. 2, that's good. 1's are the only thing that hold damage. So, nope, you all didn't take any damage from that. For the Titan's second action, now what it does is it backs up and literally tries to yank that anchor out of its arm. Do you have any dice to resist this effect? The anchor gets yanked out of the arm and it has de-anchored itself. It is now back to you all's turn. Restore dice. Drake, so that you know, of course, it says in the character sheet, it does cost you 2 dice. Essentially, you just spend them to reload your anchor.
Right, cool.
It is standing up. It has a little tiny trickle of blood coming out its right arm. Other than that, it is not been affected yet. and it has dislodged its anchor.
But
Let's indeed.
oh, I know it's not the start of combat, but perhaps at this point I can still use go for the throat.
Absolutely, sure, go for it. What part do you want to designate as the weak spot?
I really want to designate its stomach as the weak spot.
Okay. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Stomach is designated as the weak spot, so any attacks done to the torso will deal extra damage.
I love it.
All right, what's our strategy? What do we want to do?
I think Drake is going to now move away from Biddy. Just so you know. Move away
You don't want to stand next to Death Wish Biddy? Come on now.
I mean, and
Good
they're
times.
just gonna attack again, I think.
Okay, so again, you do need to spend just 2 dice straight up to reload before you can try and anchor again, and that will give you 4 dice to attempt your anchoring, unless someone wanted to help you out.
I've only got like 2 dice, yeah, because of the 1 damage. 3 dice.
What
Sorry.
what does helping out involve exactly?
So that was a small reference over to Liam, because Liam has the ability to essentially give people dice as one of his character
I do.
abilities.
Right on.
And again, I would just note, Drake, that you actually shouldn't have technically taken any damage. You should have the full 6, because every time you take damage, you roll a d6, and you only lose it if a d6 rolls a 1, which yours did. Yeah, so you should have your full 6 dice still.
But has Drake earned it? I haven't seen a real. Yeah, I'm gonna. Drake. Some days are harder than others, but today is a good day for you. And I give you like a dashing smile, and I'm gonna encourage you for 2 additional dice.
Okay.
I see light flashing off your teeth. It's very inspiring.
They're actually luminous. They're lightning bugs. I have lightning bug teeth.
Nice, I love it. As Drake hears this as he's running up the ridge, he just kind of hears the voice of Liam. It says, "Senpai."
Senpai. Liam,
shoot,
senpai.
shoot toward the target's right arm this time.
Okay, so you're gonna once again try and anchor onto the right arm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me your accuracy shot first.
Okay, so I spent the 2. I'm gonna spend 2, I think,
2 dice on it.
and then I'm going to.
I need to look at the right part of the sheet so I can make sure that 7 is enough. As you shoot up, next thing you need to do is get through the armor.
Yeah. God, I just have no dice.
Well, again, you should, because you got the 2 extra, which you also had to use to reload. So you should have essentially, and you've spent 2, so you should have 4 dice in total left right now.
I spent the 2. I spent the 2 because the shot, and I'm spending 1 to see if it hits. So
1.
I'm gonna have 1 left.
You should actually have 3 left by my count, because you were granted 2 extra dice from Grant's ability.
Right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you have a total of 4 right now. If you only want to spend 1, you could spend 1 and save 3, or you could spend 2 and save 2, or all 4, whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna spend 2.
Spend 2?
Let me get this.
8 will get through and hook onto the armor. You've got it anchored again, and you have 2 dice left, which you could choose to do one of your abilities. You could choose to save them, whatever you would like.
I'm gonna save them.
Almost like this thing knows it can be anchored and wants to not allow that to happen.
Yeah,
What about?
I'm gonna
Right?
pot shot that arm though again. I'm gonna be like, all right. So I got
All
a
right.
6 to shoot that right arm.
That will hit the arm. Need to get through armor next.
All right. I'm going to attempt to penetrate. I got 11.
11 will get through the armor.
All right. And I
What's
think
that
I've
leave
only
you
got
with?
1 die left. So actually, it looks like I've no, yeah. So all right. Riddle me this, Grant, man. 4.
4 points of damage. That's not bad. As once again, you find one of those little tendons that gets a little bit deeper this time. You can tell it's shaking out that right arm as it feels it a little bit more from that attack.
All right. Yeah, I start nodding. I start nodding at him. I make some eye contact. Don't break it. No. Guys,
right.
kill it. No.
What do our other Titan hunters want to do?
Oh, how? Okay. Sorry, the stomach was claimed as the weak point?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Just look at my climbing stuff and up at the Titan.
Our fearless climber is
Right.
is clearly scared of heights.
A little bit.
Was
I
an
wonder if
odd
we
player
can.
choice.
Right. I wonder. Are you still trying to like wrap up its legs?
I think that they don't have any anchors connected.
Oh, I see.
They now have an anchor again, but you'd be restarting the wrap up the leg process.
Right on.
Right. Okay. I don't like how big this thing is, y'all. I don't like the way it stamps its feet, I'll be honest. Not my favorite thing in the world. So I don't know. Does it work like we do? Does it have tendons in the back of its ankles? Even if it does. This is a weird and gross question to ask.
Yes.
No, it's not that gross. It's just leg hair. Does it have hair that I can grab onto and like climb up the back of its leg?
You know that's sufficiently horrific for me to say yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
It probably has giant lice or something. But you
Clear
know,
the lice.
this is what
Climb on that calf hair. You know you want to.
I left the Wandering Turtle Village for this. Okay. I will run up because I don't want to be on the ground again for another one of those stampy things. Jump onto the back of its calf, wrap my fingers around the leg hair and start pulling myself up to the back of the knee.
All right. So make your climb check to climb up onto the legs.
Ooh.
Mm.
It should be reset. Okay.
How
And
many dice you rolling?
I will spend 2 and roll 3.
Okay.
9.
9 will absolutely get you there. You're deep in the forest of calf hair.
Awesome. It's just a forest.
What else would you like to do?
Imagine how many huts we can make with this, y'all.
Right?
And I guess
Ribcage Longhouse.
does it? More visuals. Does it have like a loincloth, or is it just? Are we beholding all of nature's glory here?
It
is
definitely
glorious.
has. It knows that it's on a stream, so it has a modesty cloth on,
Okay.
just to keep it PG-13. Your perspective, I will leave to your imagination, as you're directly underneath climbing up.
Oh wow, how modest! Oh, lovely. He covered up just for us. And I'm asking because I want to like grab onto that as well in the fiction.
I'm
Nice.
scared to ask you to clarify, so I'm not.
Grab onto the like modesty cloth thing.
Oh, okay.
Liam's eyes twitch, you know?
And then I guess I'm gonna try to hoist myself up into this like belt area.
Okay. Yes. So that'll climb you up to the torso, so you can do another climb check to get up there.
It smells really bad.
Oh no.
I imagine.
Why can't they shower?
I don't know. I'm gonna.
I mean, there must be waterfalls nearby. Like, take a nice shower.
10, absolutely. That will get you up. You were at the top of the loincloth. Perhaps a better point of view at this point in time, but you most certainly are higher up on the creature.
I imagine it lets loose a nice old fart as I climb past its butt. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. I've got 2 dice left.
Okay, climber is stopping there. That leaves Biddy.
Yeah, more Death Wish time.
Death Wish Biddy.
That's what I do. So my poor bagpipes were stomped and lost themselves in a fart noise. And my violin was snapped, but my bow for my violin is still very much intact. And I'm going to use it as a bow to shoot an arrow at this thing's stomach.
Shooting an arrow at the stomach. All right, I like it. Give it give it a roll. How many dice you rolling for accuracy?
Yet again, I am taking chances and leaving things up to fate. I think this time I'll use 2 instead of 1, but still not very many.
Okay, it seems like a big wide target, so let's see how it goes.
How's a 10 do me?
10 will absolutely hit. So you're right on track for it. Next to roll to get through its armor.
Right. So I went for the belly button, assuming that would be its weakest point.
It is on me anyway. So let's. I think there's strong logic there.
Oh goodness. I do want to get through its armor. I want to have evasion available, but I really don't want to lose at this. Oh, but I also want to distract it later. I'm going to just use 1. That's
1 dice to get through the armor?
That's how I'm rolling.
All right, let's see the roll. That is how you are rolling. And apparently the belly button, you didn't realize this about Legatusses, but they're known belly dancers. So they keep a jewel right there in their belly button, which this one hits and bounces right off. And unfortunately,
yes,
no
yes,
damage
I
from
love
there.
It. In addition to that very poorly shot arrow from my violin bow, I will continue playing on the backup pipes that I have that are more like a pan flute. And I'm still attempting to do the Pied Piper routine and get it to follow me.
Okay.
I'm going to take a chance by losing my ability to do an evasion and use 2 dice because I want this to work.
Okay. 8. Yes, it has you and it's following. Death with Biddy has its attention.
I feel like I'm playing the battle music to Final Fantasy VII because always at the end we're going to have the victory music.
Of course. So I think someone yell out if there was anything else they wanted to do, but I think that pretty much wrapped up all of the dice. It continues like going forward as sort of like the first coil around like from its right arm across its front. I'm gonna say as you started to coil and tie it up with this wonderful plan of yours, but you have once again decided to take all of its attention, and it's going to give it to you. So for its first action, it raises its giant stone sword up. It points it directly at the sun. You see like a glint and gleam come off of it. And then for its second action, it's swinging that giant sword down at you. Do you have any dice, or does the anchor have any dice to try and influence this?
Oh, I do, but... oh my god.
You don't have to. You can let Deathwish Biddy be Deathwish Biddy. That is.
Hey, I'm here to take damage, so y'all don't. It seems to be in my character description, so.
I'm gonna spend 1 dice, I think. Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna spend 1 die to reduce its evasion. Biddy, do you have any dice to roll?
I've got nothing.
Okay, I will again be nice GM on this one and say if you want to choose to save that dice, because the lowest you can reduce an evasion to is 1, so they always have to have at least some die to roll. So if they have no dice to roll, it doesn't necessarily do you any good to try and avoid it. So I will
that
be.
That made no sense the way you just said it. I'm sorry if I'm misinterpreting.
Oh, okay. So essentially, what happens is when a Titan makes an attack, like it's doing right now, its sword attack essentially has an accuracy that you have to roll to avoid. Okay. But you don't have any dice to roll. However, our anchor, because he's anchored that right arm, he has a special ability that he can roll dice to essentially reduce its accuracy by pulling the attack off of track. Making it easy to dodge. However, that ability to like pull it off track can only reduce it to the lowest the stat can get is 1, which means you would always have to have at least a dice to roll. If you have no dice to roll, even if you reduce it to 1, it's still going to hit you. Does that make sense?
On. Yes, it does.
Perfect. So the sword comes down. It does absolutely hit you. It deals 5 damage to you. Roll 5 of those wonderful dice as the sword.
Let's see how this goes.
2
Yeah!
dice are lost.
Nice,
Ooh.
nice.
As the giant stone sword crashes down. The impact from the sword when it hits the ground, everyone on the ground is safe, but those climbing on it are being shaken off from the impact of the sword hit. Reaver, do you have any dice to roll to avoid being shaken off?
I do. I have 2.
Okay, would you choose to roll as many as you would like to?
It's
not
gonna be 2.
rolling the 2 dice.
7.
7, and that's good enough as you hold on to its
Ah!
jiggling belly as reverberating from the sword. But that does complete the Titan's turn. It's now back to you all. Refreshed dice, other than Death Wish, who has lost 2 of theirs from the dice pool. And it is you all's go again.
Okay.
How's everyone holding up?
I feel great.
Never been better, boss.
Are you down here with me, or are you still belly buttoning it?
I'm trying to get right into the belly button.
Yeah, you gotta get that jewel out of there. It's very
We'll live here
important.
forever.
That must be the source of their power.
Ugh. Does it is the pressure so great that they grow like pearls and they're I won't even ask. Let's go.
It keeps getting worse. None of this is making the book, no.
Biddy, how, as I stand with my bag of sand ever ready to chuck it, how you feeling, Biddy?
I am hurting.
All right, here, we'll open your wounds. Let me pour this in, and I'm gonna shellac
I'm
you.
dragging open my wounds, yeah.
Then I turn to Drake, and I'm gonna be like, "It's up to you now." And I'm gonna encourage you for 2 dice.
Yeah.
How much healing did that do me?
A single point.
Single,
Okay.
yes. It restores 1, and that is his only 1 med kit too. There's not another one to
Nice.
restore.
Oh
Yes.
Woo! It's a good thing I'm taking all the damage.
It's consumable.
Helping out my friends. This is my job.
Seeing Billy get healed kind of gives me vigor and inspiration from our leader. Is there any way that I can do the off balance to kind of make it lose grip of its sword and make it drop it or kind of throw it so it jerks off of the way?
Okay, I like this plan. Yes. If you want to try and use your off balance ability specifically, because you've had that cable kind of semi wrapped around it from what the other plan was doing, so you want to pull it in such a way to knock the sword off. I love it. I think it's great. So yeah, you can use your off balance ability. You'd be rolling against whatever its strength stat is to try and knock that sword out of its hand.
Okay, so I'm gonna spend the 2 that I got from Liam, and then a 2 from me. That's gonna be 4 dice.
Okay, 4 dice, going for it.
Give me it.
22. Ooh, yes. There's no stat in the book in this one of 22. So absolutely, you succeed. You twist it in just the right way, and the stone sword goes flying out of its hand and crashes down to the ground.
Nice. I zip line off to the next ridge. And
Nice.
and then I'm gonna use my see here, hold the Titan.
Okay.
So it's evasion stat and all shake stuff this next turn. So I'm gonna use 2 more dice.
Okay.
To see if I can hold it. Just kind of wrap it around its torso.
I love it. 6. Okay. So all evasion, all attacks that you all make with range attacks to work on evasion, as well as all of its shake effects, all are reduced by 6 until the start of your next turn.
That's really good.
Yes. So for anyone shooting or climbing, those are important things to know.
Yeah. No sword, shaken down.
No sword, shaken down. So our shooters and our climbers, what are you all doing?
We busted up one of its arms decently. Thinking we either bust up the other one or we aim for its eyes. I don't know.
Take out its belly. Get that
There's
jewel
gold
out of
in them
there.
here. I'm gonna take the gold out of its stomach. The gold is
Yes.
intestines.
Pearls. We established that they are belly button pearls.
Belly button pearls.
A line I didn't think I would ever say in public, but here we are.
You're welcome.
Belly button pearls.
Yep, I'm gonna scramble over to its belly.
Okay, and you are on the belly currently. It's on the torso portion, so you have
Oh,
time
okay, yeah,
there.
because it's just vertical, not.
Exactly. Yep.
Mhm.
What would you like to do?
Well, I'd like to take my very specific sword for stabbing titans and stab it right in the belly button.
I am totally going to rename that sword for stabbing titans. That's just so everyone's
Sword
clear.
for stabbing titans.
It's not for stabbing other things, just not.
I mean, it has to be
not my friends. It's not a friend's
very
sword.
specifically
What are those sirens?
sharpened and shaped.
Okay, so you have to roll to get through the armor first. How many dice you doing for that?
For this one, I'll do 2 for this one.
All right, roll 2 dice to get through the armor.
Okay. Boop boop. Oh. Climber. Get out of the way. Okay, sorry. 11.
11. That'll absolutely get through. How much damage you want to do?
I want to do 3.
3 dice.
Boop boop. 10.
10 points of damage as you cut in deep. You see, as soon as you're into the gun, it literally just starts splitting open some, and your stab goes in really, really easily, and the cut widens by about 10 feet to either side, as it seems like everything's stretched to its max.
Oh, that's a big
I
girl.
love it. I love it.
I think that you do still have a dice left.
I have a die left, and I think I want to hold on to it. Just in case.
Holding on to it. That
Yes.
leaves us Death Wish.
Death Wish is ready to do their job. It seemed to work okay just having 1 evasion dice last time, so why don't we try this again? Going for the belly, hoping to knock that pearl out and just really get some good access to that belly button so that we can use it to climb into their stomach and slash them up from the inside. Because
Bold.
it's a monster. So
All right.
first die will be
First for-
rolled
For accuracy? Yep.
shooting an arrow.
Yep.
It's horrible.
2 will work because its accuracy has been reduced by 6 from your anchor.
Anchor, I love you. Great.
So,
So-
we have hit it. Next is to get through the armor.
All right. One more time, 1 more dice.
4.
That's
4
better than a 2.
and 4 will get through the armor.
I love
As-
this game.
As surprisingly, again, a unarmored fat gut is not the most resistance to piercing metal. How much damage would you like to do?
glad that I chose the gut. I want to have that wonderful, wonderful evasion to try and save my life, but I also have a death wish. So I am going to use weak spot, which will give me a free die on a damage roll.
Ooh, and I forgot this. Actually, the 10 damage that Reaver did should have actually been 12 damage
12?
because you have designated
for
the
the
stomach
throat.
as the go for the throat. Yep.
Go. Nice. I'm going to hurt them no matter what. Oh, I really want their stomach to explode and intestines to go everywhere. I'm not going to wait for evasion. Let them kill me.
All right.
I
How many
am
dice?
Death Wish Biddy. I'm
Death
rolling
Wish Biddy.
2 dice,
2 dice?
getting my free dice for a total of 3 dice, making 12 damage.
Okay, another 12 points of damage as this is going to hurt me to describe. The belly button literally just rips in half as the arrow hits. That rip connects with the other rip from Reaver, and a good quarter of the way around the gut is ripped open, and you can see a little bit of intestine just peeking.
It's the pearl.
It's still holding together so far. Yes, pearls go flying. Oh my god, I can't. Where are we right now? Okay. I think that holds everyone. Does anyone else want to do any actions before? the Titan's turn. Okay, so moving into the Titan's turn, what horrific things do I want to do to you all? Let's see. The first thing, oh, that's right. It lost its sword. So it has to take one of its actions. It bends down. It picks up the sword that was knocked out of its hand. It turns it upside down so that the point of the sword is facing towards the ground, and it shoves it down into the ground up to the hilt. There's like a couple moments of quiet, and then you just see like a red glow start to come from around where the hilt is down into the ground. Back to you all.
The floor is lava.
Not yet.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's
I'm
worth
sure
It
it.
doesn't strike me as normal sword stuff, I'll be honest.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's just resting on its sword for a minute. But it is back to you all. Refresh all of your abilities. There was no attacks and no shake effects, nothing this turn.
Huh. Okay.
I'm scared.
Huh.
I can either try to. Is its hand still on the hilt?
Its hand is still on the hilt. That right arm.
All right. I've done some damage to his right arm, but I'm thinking I might switch and aim for the gut. All right. How did we beat King Hippo and Punch Out? Let me think about it. There's short strap. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to start unleashing a volley of arrows at the gut of the Great Titan.
Okay.
Legatos, it is your eye. So I'm going to spend 1 dice. I get to roll 2 because of my free dice. I got a 3. Does it hit or no?
Question before. Okay. Yep. You've already. Before I give you a result, of course, I will remind that our anchor does have the ability to reduce things like evasion stats if they wanted to do that. I'm going to choose an instant speed. We're going to switch to Magic the Gathering rules for a moment, and say that if he wants to reduce that stat by rolling dice, he is welcome to do that.
Yeah, and that's the hold one, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
There we go.
yeah, I think I'm gonna roll the 2 dice for that.
2 dice to reduce the evasion and the shake.
5.
So it is reduced by 5, which Liam, that makes your 3 good enough to hit it.
Nice.
I love kind game masters. Ha ha ha. All right, so then I'm gonna see if I can reduce penetrate through the armor of its gut. I'm gonna do
armor of the gut.
3d6.
Yep. You're doing 3. 7 will absolutely get through the armor of the gut.
All right, and then so I should still have 2 dice left because I attacked with my. Hold on. So I spent 1, then I spent 3 to go through. I have 2 dice left. We're gonna use 2 dice to do damage.
And you get a +2 due to the weak spot from Death Wish.
10.
12 points of damage as your arrow completes the trifecta here. The guts just rip open. They come expelling forth just intestines and all sorts of just hot, moist nastiness. As these are like dripping down its loincloth, you see it takes its left hand and it scoops them all up and it puts them back in, and it's holding its left hand across its gut now, keeping everything in place.
You gonna do something or just stand there and bleed? As I look at the glowing sword, he's gonna do something, guys.
That's a Rambo.
And just from a mechanical note, the torso area has now been what we call damaged, which means you have depleted all of its hit points. So just for reference, attacking the torso, while narratively can be fun, won't mechanically do anything because essentially you've done all the damage there is to do to that body part.
Okay.
Nice.
So, the guts have been ripped open. The left arm is now holding them all up in place. What do y'all want to do?
We really need to get rid of that left arm so that not only does it trip on the anchor, but also trips on its own intestines.
Slip and slide.
Slip and slide.
Since you've been such a benevolent GM, I'm gonna ask you a question because I want it to be like really cool. But I wonder if I can do it.
Okay.
I want to wait for it to bring out its like possibly flaming hot lava sword, and I kind of want to use off balance to kind of trip it up so it kind of skewers itself. If I can do that, I don't know if I can.
Okay,
That'd be so
all right.
cool.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. This is purely a GM house ruling something in the middle, which is what you do as a GM and players. So I love that plan. You will use your off balance ability at the right moment for it. And I'm just going to warn you that I'm going to increase the stat to do this extra special thing to do it. So prepare your dice accordingly.
Okay.
But I like the plan. I like the creativity, and if the dice are with you, we'll do this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good.
Okay. What would y'all like to do for those who have dice available?
I feel like I haven't danced in a little too long. It's time for me to do that. But yeah, I think it's pretty important. So I'm not going to make any attacks on this turn. I think the last time I shot them because I was very mad that their sword cleaved my panpipes in two, and uncharacteristically, I just lashed out. But I've pulled myself together, and I've also pulled out my tuba and set it in place so that I can do a jaunty little run around and hopefully rest this monster to the ground.
Okay.
And I'm going to use 3 dice to do it, so I still have 1 for evasion in the future.
All right. 14. All right, absolutely. Your jaunty little tune infuriates the gutted beast as it continues chasing after you and getting further and further tied up in the cable, perhaps in perfect position for its. Or actually, I'll say this because it still has its sword in the ground. It's essentially like scooted around where it's trying to like get at you with its foot, sort of like. Yeah, someone who has like, I'm holding all of these dishes and I'm trying to shoo my cat away in the kitchen.
Yes.
Like it's doing one of those things, okay?
Nice.
And I've switched my song from the Final Fantasy theme to Pop Goes the Weasel. So, all along the mulberry bush, we chase the weasel.
That is more disturbing than that song already was for a childhood. Yes, knowing what you're expecting to pop. Yes. Okay. Is there anything else that Death Wish is doing?
Nope, they are death wishing it up,
All right.
waiting to get attacked.
Reaver, you are covered in just hot, sweaty, moist guts.
My last name is Red, and I didn't give myself that name. It just kept happening. So I'm like, we're never gonna get those belly pearls this way. And I look up, and what I want to do is I want to climb up to the I guess the chest area, and then I want to jump and I want to grab the edge of its mask and pull it down so that as it's running, its ability to see is lessened and hopefully does the whole tripping thing that everybody else.
All right, I love it. So what you'll have to do is first you're going to roll a climb check to climb up to the head,
Okay.
And then you'll have to roll dice to do this cool little thing where you're going to pull the helmet down over its eyes, which I love that. That's great.
Yep. So I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna spend 2 and roll 3.
Spend 2 and roll 3. Okay.
10.
10, absolutely. That will do it. So that gets you to jump up. You're on the head itself. You're going to pull the helmet down over its eyes. How many dice do you want to roll to try and do that?
I'd like to roll 3.
3 dice. Give it the
I'm
roll.
guessing this is an attack roll and not a climb roll.
Rolls are rolls. I'm choosing to put this against its strength because there's no stat that would actually be appropriate for this. So since you're just rolling against its strength.
11.
11 will do it. So
Yes.
you yank the helmet down over its eyes now. So now it can't really see anything. Any other actions from the players, or do we move on to the Titan?
No, that's me.
Do it!
Okay, Titan's turn. This is where we're going to get interesting. So it pulls its sword out of the ground. The entire stone sword is just radiating heat. It's glowing red, and it's holding it in the air, about to swing it at someone. But I believe we have a master plan in work here. Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
like I see this and like it's either gonna be really cool or it's really bad. I kick over a pebble, which tumbles over rocks, which then tumbles a large boulder, which then gets wrapped up in a cluster of strings, which then causes the strings to jerk the arm and possibly twist him to cut himself.
I am
Goldberg
in love with
Titans.
this. Absolutely. Give me your roll.
It's gonna be 46 on this.
46 is a good roll.
Ooh,
10.
no.
10 is good enough. 10 absolutely does
Yes.
it. And when its sword is in the air, you like turn it and it twists and comes down, and he literally lops his entire left hand off. And the left hand goes just from the bicep down, falling to the ground. The guts come spilling out of the thing, and you can't see its eyes underneath the helmet that roll back in its head as it just down to its knees, down to its stomach, and it's dead.
I shake my dreadlocks and I
Yeah,
animate.
as he
you're so
falls
beautiful.
down, like the mask comes off a little bit, and I just get thrown back and just like, whee! Tumble.
And
So
pearls just spew out of its stomach because it can't.
Yeah.
and the town is full of belly button pearls from this day forward. Yes. All right. Well, that was our playtest of Reach of Titan. The playtest actually does have one more creature, but we're going to call it that today. The other one is actually good enough that it can kill you. It's a Leviathan, and you have to deal with being in the water and out of the water. So I really did want to see our character Drake, who had lost family members maybe to this Titan, but that will have to be for another day. Thank you all so
Right.
much for playing. Hopefully we all had fun playing Reach of Titan here today.
Most definitely. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for running it. So we're going to go ahead and call it. And just to kind of take us out, and we'll kind of go back through and talk about anyone who wants to plug anything that they're doing. I'll just plug this again real quick. Again, for those watching the stream or watching this later on, everything that you saw us hear us do is on Roll20 for free right now if you're a pro or plus subscriber. If you're either one of those, you can literally go start a new game and you'll just see Reach of Titan up there, and all this drops on you for free. Likewise, all the information is in a standard PDF playtest that you can download on DriveThruRPG or on my site, Third Act Publishing. And if this is something that you like, if this is something that you'd be interested in, you can go on over to the Kickstarter now. Again, that's still live for 7 more days. And you can go see all the fun, and there's a lot more details and a lot of things we didn't get into here about the mysterious lore of the world and how you have to piece the lore together to find out what's actually going on and why we're humans in this world and all sorts of fun stuff. So you can go on over to Kickstarter. Again, if this is something you like, the only way that we actually get these projects and for this game to take place is for people backing it and supporting it on the Kickstarter. So I would very much appreciate that if it's something that you're interested in. So again, I've been your GM, Jim McClure. The big things that I do are with Third Act Publishing, again, my game company where we write and produce games. I also do a podcast called Talking Tabletop, where I interview notable personalities from the world of tabletop. Hence why I've got like this podcast set up and not for streaming, so you couldn't see me like below the nose all night, but that's fine. And of course, I'm one of the lead designers for Burn Bright, the official Roll20 RPG. So when that launches, and again, Pro and Plus subscribers have access to that as well. And once that launches, everyone will have access to it. So kind of going back around the table, I'm going to do, I think, reverse order from what I did. Grant, anything you'd like to plug? Anything you'd like to say?
Hi, everybody. I had lots of fun playing that. It was really exciting fighting 2 Titans. I was a stretch goal on this Kickstarter. I put links in the chat if you want to check it out to both the Roll20 module and the Kickstarter itself. I'll be on WebDM later tonight playing The Land Between Two Rivers. We have a special one-shot while Jim Davis is away. And I think Marsie may be joining me there as well. We'll see if we hold it together, but had lots of fun playing.
Wonderful. Connie.
Hello again, y'all. That was so fun. I really wish that we had a chance to play through that Leviathan Titan, because I can just imagine Biddy the Death Wish getting in a kayak like off the main boat and just like splashing along. I don't know how they'd make water music, but they'd figure it out. And good for them. I hope they die a meaningful death. I'm Connie O. Connie O, yeah. on Twitter and on Twitch. I haven't started streaming video games yet, but I'm going to soon. I'm doing art. If you want to commission me, hit me up on Twitter. And Jim mentioned, yet again, the Bright system with Roll20. Check out Autonomic Pod. It's really good. Everyone who's playing on there is really good. Check out that podcast.
Okay, Marsie.
Hi everyone, my name is Marsie. This game is so much fun. Shadow of the Colossus is my favorite game. And it also hit another dream for me because I can't go to home improvement stores without like just dreaming about climbing on everything. So this is great. I am one half of the Phantom Roll booth, and I run on alternating Tuesdays Monster Hearts. Don't go there if you don't want anything adult happening in your streams. Just saying. On Thursdays, I do completely legitimate business on Scraticus Academy. We would have a game tonight. I think we can't do it tonight, so we're doing it. We'll be back next week. And on Saturdays, every other Saturday, I'm doing Waterdeep Dragon Heist with Goldheart Group. So come and check us out. And then finally coming in April, the return of the Owl of Lycia on Sundays, alternating Sundays.
You are a busy, busy person.
I've got more. Coming. Not yet. Nothing I can announce. I'm done.
Okay. And
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And Pro.
Yeah, super great game. I loved just the mechanics and like the narrative weaving of it as well, and just kind of like the storytelling that kind of goes on with it. So super thankful I got to play this. I'm hyped for it. It was lots of fun. So thank you for having me. I am Pro Restarter. You can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, all under the same name. I do 14 games a week, so you can catch me every day on my channel or on other people's channels. Just doing shenanigans on the internet. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And once again, thank you all for playing. Thank you all the audience for watching it. It was a ton of fun. I apologize. I wasn't in Twitch, so I didn't get to see what everyone was commenting, but hopefully everyone had a good, wonderful time. And also another special thank out to Grant for sort of helping me with all of the back end and putting all this together and all the wonderful work he did. So thank you all so much.